From fistfights over chicken tenders to a man placing his sweaty socks on theater seats to reserve them, cruise passengers have turned floating vacations into absolute war zones of passive aggression. And some of it is not even passive anymore. Cruise Hive surveyed nearly 1,000 cruisers in 2026, and bad passenger behavior was the #1 complaint. So today, we're counting down 15 habits your fellow cruise traveler secretly hates you for. And number 8 is so universally despised that cruise lines are literally hiring enforcement teams to stop it. Number 15. Calling it a boat. This one is going to ruffle some feathers right out of the gate, but seasoned cruisers and crew members genuinely cringe when you call the ship a boat. It sounds silly, but walk onto a Royal Caribbean Oasis-class vessel that stretches over 1,100 feet long, carries nearly 7,000 passengers, and has its own zip line, ice rink, and central park, and then try calling it a boat with a straight face. According to Life Well Cruised, many cruisers and even crew members will not hesitate to correct you. Consider this your friendly warning before someone at the buffet gives you a lecture about displacement tonnage. Number 14. Leaving room service trays in the hallway like a hotel that does not exist. You finish your midnight snack, open your cabin door, and slide the tray into the corridor. Reasonable, right? The problem is that on a busy sea day, those trays can sit there for hours. Half-eaten shrimp cocktail, soggy fries, crumpled napkins. Now multiply that by dozens of cabins on the same deck, and you have an obstacle course that smells like a cafeteria dumpster. The narrow cruise ship hallways become a gauntlet of leftover food that every passenger has to navigate in the dark on the way back from the late show. Number 13. The dress code rebel. Every cruise ship has a main dining room with a dress code, and every cruise ship has passengers who treat that dress code like a polite suggestion. Families in matching pajamas at dinner, passengers shuffling in wearing bathrobes and slippers, tank tops and flip-flops at the captain's gala. Norwegian Cruise Line recently cracked down, banning tank tops, hoodies, and ripped jeans from certain specialty restaurants. And honestly, when you've paid for a nice sit-down dinner and the table next to you looks like they just rolled out of a water park, you understand why. Number 12. The influencer turning your vacation into their content. This is a newer complaint, but it's climbing the list fast. Speakerphone calls blasting by the pool. Passengers blocking walkways and staircases to film TikTok videos, and the one that makes crew members lose their minds, asking bartenders and waiters to redo tasks on camera. A bartender on one sailing had just finished mixing a cocktail when a passenger shouted, "Do it again for my TikTok." A fellow traveler called it cringeworthy and said they felt terrible for the bartender because crew members aren't props for your vacation footage. But it gets worse than annoying. In November 2025, a group of live streamers, including the controversial streamer Ice Poseidon, were kicked off Royal Caribbean's Harmony of the Seas for harassing passengers door to door, filming without consent, and blocking views at shows. 7 total were ejected across 2 ports. All of them had to arrange their own way home. Number 11. The Bluetooth DJ nobody asked for. Picture this. You are relaxing on the pool deck of a Carnival cruise ship. The sun is perfect. And then 3 different Bluetooth speakers within earshot start competing for dominance. One is playing reggaeton, one is blasting country, and one guy in the corner has a true crime podcast going at full volume. It got so bad that Carnival banned Bluetooth speakers from their ships entirely in late 2024. The decision was controversial, but it was overwhelmingly praised by passengers who were tired of the audio chaos. The ban extends to balconies too, because on a cruise ship, sound travels in every direction. Your neighbor above, below, and on both sides can hear everything. Number 10. The hot tub couple who forgot they are in public. Look, nobody is saying you cannot enjoy your vacation with your partner. But when 2 adults in a shared hot tub on the pool deck start acting like they are in a private jacuzzi suite, everyone else is forced to either awkwardly look away or abandon the tub entirely. In a Cruise Mummy community poll, 2/3 of cruisers said they have been personally driven out of a public hot tub by couples who could not keep their hands to themselves. One commenter wrote, "I paid for that hot tub too, and I would like to use it without feeling like a third wheel." Number 9. The Photographer Gauntlet. Embarkation Day means walking through a corridor of professional photographers at every backdrop and staircase. They work on commission, and according to Glassdoor reviews from former ship photographers, they are pushed hard to hit daily targets. Individual prints cost around $25. Packages start above $200. Cruise Critic warns they can be pushy, and they might encourage you to reconsider a no thank you. The interaction is not dangerous. It is just relentlessly, exhaustingly persistent. Number 8. The Dawn Patrol Chair Hog. And here it is, the single most universally despised behavior in all of cruising. The one that ranked number 1 in virtually every survey, every forum poll, and every Reddit thread we reviewed. The pool deck chair hog. The scene plays out the same way on every ship. Passengers set their alarms for 5 or 6 in the morning, march to the pool deck while the sun is still down, drape towels over 4, 5, sometimes 10 prime loungers, and then disappear. They go back to bed. They go to breakfast. They wander the ship. Meanwhile, families arriving at a perfectly reasonable 9 or 10 a.m. find a pool deck that looks fully occupied but is completely empty. A TikToker named Jess filmed rows of towel-draped, completely empty loungers on Royal Caribbean's Utopia of the Seas, and those videos racked up 7.5 million combined views. On one Reddit thread, a user described a group of women who claimed 10 loungers at 9 a.m. for their extended family. Nobody actually sat down until 1 p.m. Cruise lines are fighting back. Carnival deployed what they call a chair share team, placing time-stamped stickers on unattended chairs and removing belongings after 40 minutes. Norwegian Cruise Line gets the most praise for actually following through on enforcement. Royal Caribbean has a 30-minute rule on paper, but enforcement on their larger ships is widely criticized as non-existent. And this next one might be even more controversial. Number 7. The Feral Children Brigade. In Cruise Hive's January 2026 reader survey of nearly 1,000 respondents, unsupervised children was the number 1 most mentioned complaint. In Cruise Critic's 4,500-person poll, rude children were voted the single worst cruise annoyance, period. The stories are specific and alarming. A Mariner of the Seas passenger documented a 3-year-old pressing random elevator buttons while his mother stood silently next to him. 3 kids between 7 and 10 were spotted wandering unsupervised near the ship's railings, which one commenter noted are not as high as you might think. A group of tweens knocked an elderly man down a staircase, and he was hospitalized. The hot tub takeover is a particular flashpoint. Kids cannonballing in and out, screaming, refusing to leave. Carnival responded by distributing a letter to every stateroom stating that children must always be supervised and guests 17 and under must be out of public areas by 1 a.m. In one extreme case, a 9-year-old was permanently banned from Carnival and all its sister brands for life after damaging an arcade machine and fighting with another boy on camera. If you are finding this list a little too relatable, hit subscribe. We cover cruise tips, etiquette, and stories like this every week. Now let's talk about number 6. Number 6, the theater seat saver and the sock technique. One person shows up early to a comedy show, an ice skating performance, or a magic act, and proceeds to save 6, 8, sometimes 10 seats with jackets, napkins, programs, and purses for friends who may or may not show up before the lights go down. The stories border on absurd. On Royal Caribbean's Symphony of the Seas, a man removed his shoes and socks and placed one sock on each seat to reserve spots for the ice show. Nobody challenged him. Perhaps people thought his behavior was a little odd and wanted to avoid him. On Carnival Spirit, a passenger posted angrily online that the rudest guest on the ship picked up their jackets and moved them from saved seats at a trivia game. The internet overwhelmingly sided with the jacket mover. Carnival has confirmed that seated passengers cannot be forced to move. Saving seats is not an enforceable rule. Number 5. Elevator warfare. Pushing into the elevator before passengers can exit. Mashing the closed door button the instant you step in. Overcrowding an already packed car. And the classic, kids pressing every single floor button and giggling while everyone inside dies a little. But beyond the annoyances, there is a serious dimension. A disabled passenger on P&O's cruise ship Arvia reported waiting half an hour every time for an elevator because passengers kept closing doors and saying there was no room. They even described passengers spreading out inside the car to make it look fuller so wheelchair users could not board. The worst incident happened on Royal Caribbean's Liberty of the Seas in 2025. An 18-year-old and his friends beat a fellow cruiser unconscious inside the elevator after the victim's wife asked a group of rowdy teenagers to stop jumping. The victim was taken to the ship's medical center. The attackers were sent to the brig. Number 4. The balcony smoker who doesn't care. Despite a near-universal ban across every major cruise line, balcony smoking remains one of the top 3 most reported complaints. And the brazenness is remarkable. One cruise critic poster described their neighbor on embarkation day stepping onto the balcony and saying, "It says no smoking. I don't care, I'm doing it anyway. This isn't just about the smell drifting into your cabin." The industry-wide balcony smoking ban originated from the 2006 Star Princess fire, where a single discarded cigarette butt ignited balcony furniture and partitions. Carnival's updated June 2025 policy now lists a $500 fine per violation and a possible lifetime ban. But enforcement remains the weak link because surveillance from balcony to balcony is nearly impossible. Number 3. The buffet criminal. The cruise ship buffet somehow turns otherwise civilized adults into feral animals. The specific complaints are not vague, they are stomach-turning. Grabbing food with bare hands instead of using the tongs was the top-voted answer on Reddit when a first-time cruiser asked about rude behaviors. But it gets worse. One Reddit user witnessed a woman lick her fingers, then grab a serving utensil. When someone politely pointed it out, she put her plate down and ran away crying. Another user watched a man taste mashed potatoes directly off the serving spoon, then place it back in the dish and walk away. Reusing dirty plates for return trips is another cross-contamination nightmare that crew members have specifically asked passengers to stop doing. Royal Caribbean even stations a dedicated crew called the Washy Washy team at buffet entrances to encourage hand sanitizer use. It helps, but it cannot stop the finger lickers. Number 2. The Gratuity Remover. On the final night of every cruise, a predictable procession of passengers visits guest services to remove automatic gratuities from their onboard account. Current daily rates run between $16 and $25 per person per day, depending on the cruise line and cabin category. For a family of 4 on a 7-night sailing, that adds up to over $500 in total gratuities. Some passengers remove the automatic charge and tip cash directly to their cabin steward and dining team, which is perfectly fine. But many remove the gratuities and tip nothing. Crew members confirm they lose out when this happens, and the behind-the-scenes workers who never receive individual cash tips, like cooks, laundry staff, and housekeeping assistants, are hit the hardest. MSC Cruises took the strongest stance on this issue. They do not allow gratuity removal for any reason. Number 1. The drunk who ruins it for everyone. And finally, the behavior that has gone from embarrassing to genuinely dangerous. Unlimited drink packages have created a culture where some passengers treat the daily limit as a personal challenge, and the consequences have made international headlines. In April 2025, a massive brawl erupted in the Galveston Cruise Terminal as passengers disembarked from Carnival's Jubilee. People were punching, shoving, and knocking others to the ground while children watched. 24 passengers received permanent lifetime bans. One was charged with a first-degree felony for injuring an elderly man. In August 2025, nearly 24 passengers on Carnival Sunshine got into an all-out 2 a.m. brawl at the buffet. Content creator Mike Terra flipped his camera and delivered the line that went viral across TMZ, The New York Post, and Complex. Fighting over chicken tenders is crazy. In December 2025, a passenger on Royal Caribbean's Icon of the Seas punched a lifeguard on the pool deck. The video hit over 1 million views on Facebook. And the most tragic case of all, on Royal Caribbean's Navigator of the Seas. In December 2024, bartenders served a passenger named Michael Virgil 33 alcoholic drinks in a matter of hours. He became agitated, assaulted crew members, and was subdued with pepper spray and injected with a sedative. He died in security custody. A wrongful death lawsuit is currently pending. Carnival's response has been the most aggressive in the industry. Their June 2025 Have Fun, Be Safe policy imposes a $500 fine for any physical altercation and lifetime bans that extend across all sister brands, including Princess and Holland America. Carnival's brand ambassador John Heald, who has over 600,000 Facebook followers, described the worst passenger behavior as resembling a pack of starving hyenas. Despite all of this, here is the wildly optimistic twist. In that same PhotoAiD survey, 84% of respondents said they were likely to cruise again. At the end of the day, cruising is still one of the best vacations on the planet. You just have to survive your fellow passengers. If you want to see the unwritten rules of cruising that experienced travelers swear by, subscribe so you don't miss it.